was really hoping that Brian's wine and win was going to pay off right there at the end. He was he was he was starting to wind it up. Kid, happy birthday, buddy. Hope your Vegas weekend is going well. Hey, Doris. I was just saying, Brian was getting ready to wind it up there with that wine and win. Oh my gosh. We got a fun one today for you guys when Susan checks in. Hey Bree, how are you? Um, John Graham, we're still John. Put it on your calendar. We're coming, and I bet you we get another handful of people from Kenonation to come out too. Um, Buffalo, New York, Labor Day weekend, 2024. Mark it down, folks. Buffalo Chicken Wing Festival. Hey Jackie, good morning. Good morning. There's we're gonna add Miss Susan VP right now. Good morning.
Had, can you see me?
I can.
I can see half of my face.
Yeah. Is there a way you can send it? There we go. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Guys, she was let me know all week long. She's so nervous. This is going to be so fun telling your story. I can't wait to share your family and stuff today. Couple of quick shout outs. Everybody's checking in now that Brian's done. The wine and win was in full effect there at the end. I thought he was going to pull it off, but
Oh yeah.
he was he was going.
Did you say you got to be kidding me?
He was talking about only like one employee at the casino, and because they don't have to pay any hand pays. It was
No.
so
Yeah,
much fun.
Belterra's down the drain.
Yeah, if you've witnessed it on camera, but if I've been next to him, it is off camera. Oh my
Yeah.
God, V77 with a $5 super chat. Before we even get started, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Quick shout outs. Yesterday was my 40-year high school reunion,
Oh.
and we had a local big park here, and I want to make some shout outs. Maria Torres and um, Sammy Chamis and Catalina Arndt and Robert Wong and everybody that was there helping us out. So much fun. We'll post a couple pictures when we can, but thank you to the San Diego High class of 1983, San Diego Cavers. Welcome in, everybody. Our guest is already here, Susan VP.
Hello.
We'll do some shout outs about the upcoming lineup. The lineup is getting longer and longer. Where are we at? Man, we're into November now for the guest list. So Miss Susan VP, how are you today?
Very good. It's a beautiful day here in Ottawa.
That's right. We're going to get into. If you guys didn't know, Susan's from Canada, and she's prepared some information because I have no idea anything about Canada. She said she brought a map. Is that right?
I have a map.
Okay.
This is just the of Ontario, because the other one I had, but it was too. You weren't going to be able to see it. I am right here, Ottawa, and
Okay.
Toronto's down here. This is Quebec. We're on the border with Quebec. The Ottawa River goes through there, and this is down here in the yellow. That's New York State with Lake Ontario. So this goes down through the 81 down through Syracuse. That's the route we take to go to Florida in the winter.
Oh my God! So you got a direct. Are you a Florida visitor at all, or no?
Yeah, we've been going there in February, March, but it's gotten so expensive there, it's crazy. So we're going to Mexico for 5 weeks this winter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that, and the price is like a third of what we would go to Florida for. So not driving there.
That's cool. So it says here you grew up in Stittsville. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, Stittsville. It was a little town just outside of Ottawa. Ottawa is the capital of Canada.
Okay, well, you had said provinces earlier. I don't know how that works because we're states, the states, but are provinces bigger versions of states? Yeah.
We have it's the same thing, own government in each one, and the federal government is over top everybody. So there's 10 provinces from coast to coast, and the Northwest Territories, which is Yukon and Nunavut, and that's north of us to the Arctic Circle, basically. So we're as wide as the states, like coast to coast.
Yeah,
Uh, and I'm not sure if our land mass is as big as the states, but it's big. But we
it is
have
big.
we have I think there's 34 million people in Canada, and you have 330 million. So the populations
Wow.
are totally different,
Yeah.
you know.
Does
And
that
you
mean
guys
we're
been
10
around
times?
for yeah, you've been around for 300 and some odd years. We're only 100 and 50 years old, so younger country for sure.
And that's funny
And
because we just traveled. You've traveled abroad, I know. Traveling abroad, you realize how young this whole side of
oh
the
god,
world is.
when you
Yeah,
go to Europe, it's just like
yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah,
We're
you
babies,
have
and
no clue. Yeah.
yeah, no clue about history, and we haven't worked our own history, and our history kind of gets twisted sometimes. Too many people have a say in this country sometimes. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Yeah, so I grew
um,
up in Stittsville, which is just a little bedroom community outside of Ottawa. I mean, like in 20 minutes you'd be downtown Ottawa.
okay,
And back then, like when I grew up, like of course there was 8 kids in our family, and my
we're
mom
gonna
and
get
dad.
into that because your mom was a busy gal.
Yeah, no kidding. And Stittsville then was like I don't know, it was 1,000 people. Now it's like 35,000. It's grown. Like all this
Okay,
area is just it's huge now, and with new builds and lots of growth in population. It's very prosperous
yeah.
town. Like it's the regional municipality of Ottawa Carleton, so it's a government town
Oh,
because
okay.
Parliament is here. It's like a white collar town. It's known as Silicon Valley North, where we are in Canada,
Oh,
which is just outside. It's all high tech. So it's all
okay.
high tech government.
So when
Well,
you say Parliament, I mean, I guess that's what we call our Senate. Is that
yeah,
kind of this? Okay.
like Justin Trudeau is the prime
Yeah.
minister. He lives here, like, and it's the Parliament buildings, which are 160 years old. That's where Parliament
Wow.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Kingston, Ontario, actually, which is south of here along the St. Lawrence and Lake Ontario. That originally was the capital of Canada, like back in
Okay.
1832. But Queen Victoria designated Ottawa as the capital of Canada. So
Wow.
this is where the seat of Parliament is, and the Parliament building. Everything, the federal government is here. Basically, it's like you're
Okay.
Washington D.C.,
Yeah.
Ottawa, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we had 50 states, and then we had this little District of Columbia right in the stuck
yeah,
between Virginia and
yeah. But
the little
Ottawa is a
district.
city, and it just happens to be where Parliament is, and
Yeah.
it's yeah.
So many
And we
people checking in and saying hi to you right now. We got Roseanne, Chris
hello.
Thomas in Vegas 777. Slot Kitty. Hey, Slot Kitty, how are you? She's from Niagara Falls. Al Duff.
Oh,
Chris Thomas, Sylvia P. I know we had Jackie in the house. Doris, David H. Keno Kid, happy birthday, kid. David H. Vegas 777. Anise in the house. They're all saying everything has gotten so expensive, but enjoy your trip to Mexico. When are you going to Mexico?
we go the last week, February 23rd to March 31st.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. There's
go the
some trivia about your town, which is so fun to me. It is the world's, now I want you to say, because I don't want to say it for you, but it's the world's longest what?
skating rink.
Skating
It's
rink, ice skating, right?
Yeah, the Rideau Canal was built after the War of 1812 with the United States. So they wanted a way, and they needed a way to get supplies from the Ottawa River and Ottawa up through to Kingston if there was ever a war again.
Yeah.
So this was an engineered canal. It's a lock system. So
Oh,
now
okay.
so in the summertime, it's open and people bring their pleasure craft through. You can go from Lake Ontario down the canal, which comes from Kingston all the way to Ottawa, down into the Ottawa River, down to Montreal. Like you can go all over the place, but it's a lock system. So like the Panama Canal, you go in, they raise the water, open up the gates,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
you continue through. So there's quite a few locks. I'm not even sure how many locks there are, but there's probably at least 15 to 20 on the
Wow.
way to Kingston. But it's for like it's all pleasure craft, so it's like
Yeah.
cat cruisers and sailboats, that type of thing. There's no big boats that go on it, but a lot of people come down right downtown into Ottawa and dock there because Ottawa is a beautiful place.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've been through two
all
lock systems. Yeah, one in Seattle called the Ballard locks. It just connects Lake Washington to Puget Sound, and it's only
Mhm.
about 10 feet difference. Then I've been. You guys all saw that I went to the Panama Canal, and it goes up 85 feet, and there's
Oh
three
yeah, it's
massive.
not high, but it's probably at least 30 feet that you have to come
Yeah,
up. And they open it all. It's a crank system, so it's like just big wheel. It's the original
yeah,
lock. Yeah, and they have a
yeah.
guy and girl on each side, and they just crank it open, and they go through. And
It's
it's really
amazing
neat.
how they do that stuff.
Yeah.
You said there's also a very famous. There was that's where the truckers were protesting about
Oh
the.
yes.
Yeah, that made world news, as you said.
Yeah. That was that. We were in Florida last year. That was last January, February,
And that was the
and
pipeline. Was that the pipeline situation?
the vaccines and the lockdowns in Canada,
Ah,
and anyways, politics. But no, the truckers came. They were against it, and they came all across Canada and came right downtown in front of Parliament Hill, and they were there for
wow.
like, and it was cold, like it was like -40. So,
Oh
and
my gosh.
that's like like that was like it's -40 Celsius. That's like
Yeah, that's what is
eh,
that? Almost 100.
yeah, no, it was really, really cold out. They were freezing, but there was no violence or anything. But in the end, they had to get out
Too
of there.
too cold to move.
It was not pretty the way they dispersed it. But anyway, they made their point, and after that, Canada started lifting all the like we couldn't even get across the border at one
Yeah,
point. You couldn't drive like two people in a car can't drive across the border, but you could fly back and forth with 100 people on a plane. Like if I
right,
wanted to go to Las Vegas, like I could go. It was okay to go with 100 people, but
right.
we couldn't
But
Florida.
you couldn't go 10 feet across the border in a car.
Yeah, like it was
Yeah,
crazy. But anyhow,
yeah.
anywho, we
Yeah, I know.
digress.
You know,
Anyhow,
there's a lot of good and bad and all that. There were good and bad here. There were some good things that happened with the reaction. There was also some terrible decisions made during. You
oh
know
yeah,
what?
yeah,
And that's human beings in a nutshell right there. So
yeah.
I do want to get yeah.
Just the Rideau Canal. That's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Just wanted to
Yeah,
throw that. And in
which
the
you know
wintertime, the world's longest skating rink. It's like 5 kilometers long. So
that's incredible. I know
it is.
that Stacy mentioned a World Heritage Site. There's a couple in San Diego that I'm learning about because I've never used that phrase before, but there are a few in San Diego. So I want to talk about your mom first. What's your mom's name?
Shirley, Shirley May.
Shirley May, school
Yeah,
teacher. There's a lot of school teachers in this group,
yeah.
but
She's no longer with us, but yeah, she I guess she became a school teacher around like she was around when she was 20, and she taught like in a one-room schoolhouse. Like she looked like one of the
yes, it's like Little House on the Prairie shows. You don't
yeah,
see that often.
in a rural area. She taught there, and but after when my mom and dad like well, first of all, my mom and dad were from a farming community about 2 hours this side of Toronto. And it was funny because whenever we visited my both sets of grandparents, my dad's family was on the top of the hill with a farm, and my mom's family was at the bottom of the hill with the
Mm.
farm. So we literally ran up and down the hill. But anyways, that's where they met. My mom went through to be a teacher, and she taught for about 6 or 7 years.
You said
Uh,
K through 8, true, right?
Yeah, it was grade 1 through 8. So there was
Wow.
probably, I don't know, 15 or 20 students. Really light
Yeah. How do you
fire.
juggle first grade education versus eighth grade and bottle that up in one classroom?
They
It's
used
tough.
that's what that was Canada back then in rural areas.
Yeah.
There's one room schoolhouses. If you go back into smaller areas, like even around here, people have bought these buildings and turned them into homes, like renovated them.
Yeah.
So
That makes a lot of sense.
they are dotted throughout the landscape because we don't have the population here. Like, we've a few big cities, but it's not states at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you
Like
said,
our
your
biggest
population
city,
in San Diego, we're 3.5 million just in San Diego.
yeah, like Ottawa is 1.2 million, maybe. Toronto's
Yeah.
the biggest. It's probably 5 or 6 million.
in
total. But
L
that's
in
the
L
biggest city.
in Los Angeles is twice what we have in that
Oh
place is.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
you haven't seen traffic,
We have
traffic in LA is brutal. So
yeah, we have nothing like that in Canada. Um, but then my mom and dad got married in 1950, and well, and she had twins in 1950.
I know. I read your notes. What she had to stop working, correct?
Well, back then, what happened? Like she had twins on her birthday, which was December 18th, which was the week before Christmas. So imagine having
Another birthday batch. Wow.
your first baby, like your first pregnancy to begin with, and then you have twins,
Yeah.
which so they had twin girls. They do not look alike, Kathy and Margie, at all.
Huh.
Um, so they're not identical whatsoever. But then she worked for another year or so. But back then, the school boards were run by men, basically, and they wouldn't let her work because she
Oh man, wouldn't
had
let her
kids.
work.
So she had they. So that's back then. Like most of the teachers were female, and they were single, and that's why they didn't want them to have kids because then they may have to miss work because kids were sick or whatever. So,
Yeah.
anyways, she stopped working, and then she had six more kids.
That's when I read that. I was like, oh my God, Dad, leave her alone. So
Well,
where do you fall? So there's seven kids? Is that right? Eight
there was
kids.
eight. There were eight kids, four
Wh-
girls and four boys.
Okay. Wow.
My
Where are you on
oldest,
that? What number are you in that list?
I'm in the middle. I'm the
Okay.
most well tested of them all. Yeah. There's well, the first it's Margie, Kathy, or the twins. Jane, she passed away 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
She had a terrible diseases. Uh,
Hmm.
as she got older, it was environmental. She was a florist, and I think it was the
Oh,
chemicals,
yeah, a lot of
everything
chems.
that she worked with. And then there's my brother Jim and me, and then Pete, John, and Andy. And Andy was the last one born in '64. So from 1950 to 1964, there was eight kids.
So we went through 300. John Graham had a bunch of kids in his house, and then Doris beat his number, and you just beat Doris's number.
Well,
I,
back
I,
then, yeah,
there,
like the
there was
street.
nothing to do in the cold but make babies.
Well, one of our where I grew up, like in Stittsville, we weren't in Stittsville. We were on a street outside of Stittsville, and it was called Just Beyond the Fringe. But Just Beyond the Fringe was
That was the
actually
name of the street?
no, it was called John Street. But we
Oh,
used to call it Just Beyond the Fringe because really what it was, that was like a marketing gimmick for a dealership that was in
yeah.
Stittsville. Because they were outside of Ottawa, they called it Just Beyond the Fringe. That was their whole commercial.
Got it.
Come out to Delary Cheval's Just Beyond the Fringe. So because we lived outside of Stittsville, we were just beyond the fringe of Stittsville. But on our street, like there was maybe 15 families. Everybody had a large family. Six, we had the most, eight,
Yeah.
but it was anywhere from five, six, seven kids, and we ran all over the place back then.
And I
We
bet you as you got of age, you started working the farm too, I would imagine.
Well, no, we weren't on a farm then. My parents
Oh,
moved
okay.
here because my dad was in the army, and
Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a second.
there's no base here. He was a surveyor, and but he took a job in Ottawa, and because it's all where the map making is for energy mines and resources.
Oh, wow.
So they moved here. So they left all their families are up Toronto area, and we were the only of our relatives. We were the only ones down in this area.
Okay. My niece just checked in from Barbara Spitzer, my niece from up in the Sacramento area. Hi, Barbara. Good to see you. So what was your dad's name?
Cecil, Arnold Cecil. We called him Cease, or we our own family
Yeah.
called him Keck. We didn't even call him Dad half the time. We called him Keck, but
Keck.
his Keck, like it was a Kate. Well, that's what we call him, but his first name was Arnold. His second name was Cecil, but everybody
Yeah.
called him Cease Oliver. That was his.
Nice.
Uh,
So, and I want to say, make sure I say this right. He was a cartographer.
Well, he started out as in 1944 with a surveyor as a surveyor. So he surveyed with energy mines and resources all up through the Arctic, and they were surveying the airstrips to put in like the landing strips for the
Yeah.
military. and he surveyed all the dew line and mountains. Like they were, what they were doing, it was they were making the maps for cartography, where it shows all the different elevations um,
Okay.
throughout Canada, and he did that in for the military bases and the airstrips in Germany. But he was all through Canada. So what would happen? He in the summertime he would be gone for 3 months, and the running joke in the neighborhood was every time Cease left, my mom was pregnant. That's why she had 8 kids.
He came home,
He'd come
took care of
home,
some business, and went back out again.
yeah, yeah, and then she'd be pregnant. But anyhow, no.
Home,
So
home, honey. I'm home, honey.
yeah, really. And so he would be away for about 3 months surveying all up a lot of it up in the north in the Arctic and Labrador, all through Canada.
Yeah.
And he ended up he I think he kind of retired from the army in the late 60s, but I mean he was still a public servant, and he was with Energy Mines and Resources, so he was a cartographer, and then he was an aeronautical charts engineer, which they make the maps for all the control towers in Canada. And they still had to do manual maps because the air routes changed every month. um, and he actually did the manual maps that are in big long tubes that the pilots use in case
That,
they needed to
that's
use them.
incredible.
Yeah,
That's
and
incredible.
it was neat because he used to take us to the Ottawa airport because he would go up to the control tower and we would get in on the deck. That was back then. It was like an open deck where all the planes were coming in, and we got to
Wow.
see that. So I've always had a fascination of planes and watching planes take off and land
Yeah.
and watching them go overhead and whatever.
That was similar. My dad served in the Navy back in the 60s, and he was on the USS Duluth aircraft carrier. Um, and he was part of the I don't even know what they call them, the battalion or but the fleet that went to and rescued all the Vietnam refugees. And he has
So
these old eight
cool.
millimeter video back in those days, 8 millimeter, showing them pushing the helicopters off the decks to make more space for people to
Oh,
stand.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Amazing.
we got to go and visit him a couple of times on board when it would pull into San Diego.
Hmm.
Massive ships and what they accomplished. And I assume it's the same thing for your husband. Your dad.
Well, no, he never was in like it wasn't the same as it was the military, but he was more in really an administration type job. Like he
Ah,
was too young to go in the war. Like like when he turned like 16, basically, he was actually going to go through for a paratrooper, and they were going to send him to the States to train as a paratrooper,
hmm.
and then the war was over. It was because he was
You'll appreciate this. My niece Barbara, of all time to check in, she was also an air traffic controller for the U.S. Navy
oh
back in
yeah
Virginia. So
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that's
so,
neat.
so you guys, here's the cool part about your father. He received, and I am assuming it's the same as the what's the highest civilian honor by our country is the what is the Medal of Freedom, I think, from our country. Your father received, I want to make sure I say this correct, the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal for the longest tenured
Yeah.
ever public servant.
Yes. I think the highest award in Canada is the oh God, I should know it. The Governor General's Award. Like, I mean, it's on behalf of the royal family.
Yeah,
But when the Queen, basically Queen Elizabeth, like, I mean, she was in power 50 years, 60 years, 70 years,
yeah,
and every
okay,
when it was 50, 60, and 70, there was awards of merit. People were um, put forward to receive those for service, for their country in whatever country she was in control of, basically, like the
yeah,
British. There's different countries, the Commonwealth, and Canada is part of the Commonwealth. But he worked for 61 years, and
61 years.
yeah, he loved his job.
I mean, I mean,
Yeah,
61 years of service to a country is
he map
unbelievable.
he made maps like at the on Booth Street in Ottawa. Like, he had a big draftsman table, and that's what they did.
And
And
what they take now technology now they've taken your dad's maps and now they're all digital using
and
what he
now
put
it's
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were still back then, like, I mean, he passed away in 2008. So he's been gone 15 years, but he worked like till 2007 and he died the following year uh, with
Wow.
complications with chemo. But
At least Kino. Sorry.
yeah, I know. It's the
It's
word.
ingrained in us.
But he was awarded a special award of merit by the government of Canada for the longest at that time
Yeah.
longest serving public servant. So they took like all his like right from 1944 to whatever it was
Yeah.
2007 whatever.
But think about it, you got
Anyways,
a whole nation of people working in that industry, and your father is number one. And I mean,
well,
it's
there's a lot of
crazy.
public servants. So he got like the Queen. He got an award from the Queen basically, but then the public service of the federal government
Yeah.
moved an awards ceremony at Booth Street. And they had this, it was funny because like all our family was there. It was like his big retirement party, and they had, made all these pictures and
Yeah.
you they had stuff going on the computer, like and big screen TV. And then all of a sudden you can see like the screen is going all static. And we're thinking, oh darn, like the pictures have gone down. Well, all of a sudden they bring in Parliament. Like
Oh
Parliament was
my
in session
gosh.
with all the
That's an awesome.
MPs and the prime minister, and they brought it in, and the minister of energy, mines, and resources stood up and read a proclamation. See, I'm getting emotional.
It is it's amazing.
Yeah,
You have two amazing parents.
yeah. We had a wonderful childhood. Sorry,
No, that's what this
this.
is for. This is I talk about the human experience, and everybody. I love talking to you guys, and we would have never nobody that we and you all you're fans of all these channels, and you do your thing. But this is stuff that we love hearing about. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so glad
Uh,
so honored to have met you today.
oh, thank you. I've been following you guys for like ages. It's so funny. And well, I'll get back to that story after I'm reclamped. Um, so the minister of energy, mines, and resources stood up and read a proclamation about his life, how long
Yes,
he'd, and all the MPs stood up and gave him a standing ovation. You don't see that
you
very.
don't from the
And then,
country, not just a group
yeah,
of people, but from the
yeah,
country.
yeah.
But it
And then
doesn't
they
end
had
there. It says it doesn't end there. Was not your aunt also received
no,
the
my
same
sister.
award? No,
Yeah,
his sister or your sister?
my sister.
Your
My
sister.
my oldest sister Margie, one of the twins, she worked for the military on different bases, mainly the one in Trenton. And what she did was well, she was like the head administrator there
Hmm.
for the colonels. And but what she did was when the guys ladies were deployed all over the place, she took care of the families. Like she checked in with them to make sure they didn't need anything,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And she had 40 years in or more with the military throughout her career, working on different bases. And but she was a civilian on working on the
Yeah.
bases.
And she
So my
also received the same award your father received, right?
well, they both my dad received a separate one, but Margie and my dad both received the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal for service to the country, and they're the only father daughter to get that. So they were in the paper when my dad was got these awards. He made the front page of the Ottawa Sun,
Yeah.
so the whole big spread. My sister phoned me at work, and she goes, "Go get an Ottawa Sun. Dad's on the front page." And he
Oh my
never
God.
told us any of this. Like
Oh my
he's like
gosh. Well, you know what?
he's
Being
such a
humble
cool
is
guy, you
yeah.
know.
Being
You
humble
know,
is an amazing trait.
yeah, very humble. That's the way
Yeah.
my parents were, like just down to earth. They never made a fuss over them, over themselves. Everything was for
Yeah.
the kids.
But
So
to be
yeah,
recognized by the country for over 100 years of service for just two people, it's
yeah,
incredible. That's
yeah.
incredible. I mean, when I read your story, I text you back. I go, "Wow, your family," and she goes, "Yeah, it's pretty cool."
And then I'm thinking, okay, now what did I do?
No, you worked for what 41 years. You worked for 41 years yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I worked in the well, when I graduated high school, I had this is going to go on way too long. When
No,
I
it's not. It's trust me,
graduated,
it's not. We don't have any time frame, so it's just about you're telling a story.
yeah, when I graduated high school, I had applied to go into journalism at our local college,
Hmm.
Algonquin College, but I found it in June that I was on a wait list. So then I thought, you know what, I'm going to Europe because my sister and her husband were stationed in Baden, Germany. So my girlfriend and
Hmm.
I went over 2 weeks. And when I got back, that was like the first 3 weeks of August. So when I got back, I thought, okay, I got to get a job. So I decided because I wasn't getting into college, I'm on a wait list. So I went downtown Ottawa to a personnel agency, and they, like they do like an aptitude test interview, that type of place. So they
Yeah.
sent me to an insurance company, and they hired me the next day basically. And I started there and the day I was hired as a filing clerk. And the day I got hired, the college phoned me and told me they had an opening, and I just said, "Well, too late because I spent all my money in Europe. I got to work." So that's how my career started. And
I think it
14
went
years
okay. It went okay
later,
though. You made a good decision.
yeah, it like the insurance industry. It's general insurance. It's just like your your home auto business.
Yeah.
I was involved in all that, and actually, that's where I met my husband Henry, who's my rock.
Henry,
Yeah,
that's
great guy.
awesome. And
Yeah.
you guys have been together how long now?
Well, we're in our second marriage, so we'll be married 29 years this year in
Oh,
October.
Ellen and I just had our 20th anniversary. We have a lot in
Yeah,
common
I
there.
know. I know. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, isn't that funny? Yeah, both
Yeah.
married 20.
That,
I think that's
here's how funny
funny.
we were scheduled to take pictures. We got married in Las Vegas, and we took 40 friends with us, and we got in and we were I bought everybody who came. I said we're going to go to the King Arthur show. Excalibur had just opened. It's like the medieval times
Oh,
kind of thing. So I bought everybody's dinner that night at King Arthur's tournament because it's a fun show and we're young. And that picture is from the guy walking around taking pictures. We used his pictures from the show. We canceled our wedding pictures. The guy just kept snapping pictures. Like, these are going to be
oh,
good.
yes.
So that picture's from the show at the King Arthur's tournament. So
Yeah.
that's how. And
Yeah.
my wife's so beautiful. She's still beautiful to this
Oh,
day.
yeah, she is.
And she
She's
goes, I didn't
okay.
have makeup that day. She's one of the ones that she doesn't have
She
to have a
doesn't have
stitch
to
of
wear
makeup on.
makeup. Yeah.
Huh? She doesn't. Yeah, I'm such a lucky guy.
My daughter's like that. She's just she takes after my mother. My mother was a beautiful woman,
Yeah.
and Kelsey takes after her. Doesn't have to wear makeup, and she's
Well, let's talk
gorgeous.
about your three. What are your three kids' names?
Uh, well, Henry has a daughter, Melissa, from his first
Okay.
marriage,
Yeah.
and my daughter is Kelsey, and Graydon, my son. So it's Melissa, Kelsey, Graydon in age order. Melissa and Kelsey are going to be 40, and Graydon's
Wow.
going to be 37,
Well, we
and
want
then
to say hi to all your family too, 'cause I know they'll watch at some point. But you
no,
guys
they're
have an
not.
amazing mom,
Tell
huh?
anybody they're not watching.
Well, you got to brag about you. We're gonna.
Nobody gambles. I'm the bad person. I'm the gambler in the family. Henry plays poker and roulette,
Okay.
but he doesn't gamble anywhere much as I do. It's just like
That's so
he's a
funny.
great guy. He puts up with me.
I'm sorry if I'm ignoring the chat. I'm so captivated by
Oh
Susan's
yeah,
story
no,
that I haven't looked. Roseanne T. I saw Randy said, "Hey, Susan, watch out. Bubba's going to ask 25 questions in less than a minute." I go, "No, I haven't said much." Susan's the story is amazing.
yeah,
Everybody's saying service people are so. Brian Quick Honey said service people are always humble. Bones Time always supporting all the vets. Roseanne's in the house. Bones Time. Uh, James is a lucky guy. He has a beautiful wife and awesome children, and he knows me. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate that. Let's talk about some of your hobbies. So, it sounds like you're a big golf fan.
Um, I golf myself. Like I
Mm,
only golf once a week with a girlfriend that I met at
yeah.
work. We've been golfing for years now, but I've been following. I started following the PGA Tour about 8 years ago because we're sitting here in the house and it's winter time,
Mm,
and I'm flipping through the channels, and all of a sudden I see the PGA Tour. And it's this, they're down south or wherever they are.
yeah,
It's this
Florida. Yeah, just typically Florida or San
beautiful
Diego.
greenery, and I'm thinking
Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch this because I just love the scenery. Well, then I started getting into it, and everybody else thinks I'm nuts because I watch golf all the time. Like right now, the Live Tour is on today at the Greenbrier, so I'm going to be. They had an early start, so it might be over by
Yeah.
the time I watch it. But no, I followed it, and then my favorite player is Dustin Johnson, and
Oh, okay.
so I started following him all the time. If he was playing, I was watching the tournament. I didn't
Yeah.
care who was around, and I watch it like Thursday through Sunday. And then he went to the Live Tour, so now every weekend, whenever they're playing, they don't play as much, but I follow Live Golf as well. So I follow both tours, and plus I play golf. I just enjoy it. Yeah.
That's the
So
live thing. They got boatloads of money to create that league, and now they merge. So I mean, the opportunity there for
I
them to
don't.
expand that.
Yeah, no, they haven't merged. I don't know if they will merge, but I guess the PGA was really like a nonprofit, and that was started, I think, with Arnold Palmer, like because it's the Arnold Palmer back in the '60s to get
Yeah.
the professionals more money, and I think probably maybe Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player, the
Yeah.
players back in
The original
the
studs.
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the original Keno guys, and
Oh my gosh.
the bad boys, you mean,
The bad boys.
and
Oh, she called us the bad boys.
and the bad girls, the Keno too.
Yes.
Uh,
Which you're a member of, obviously.
well, no, I'm talking about like Michelle and
Well, you
Brenda.
said you're the only one in your family that you're the bad
Oh,
girl in the family,
no,
so
I'm just talking about you
you
guys.
qualify.
The original, yeah, like well, I have one brother that bets on horses, and I have another
Ah,
brother that does gamble every once in a while, but
yeah.
the they just think I'm nuts because I go to Vegas by myself and whatever.
Oh my
But
gosh.
anyways, getting off topic a little bit.
So, and then you said
Yeah, that's yeah,
you're into travel, obviously.
yes, yeah. Been to Europe a few times.
Yeah.
Doing a few more cruises now because I just find like you just get on a boat and you don't have to go anywhere.
Oh my
You
God,
just don't,
we love it.
and you enjoy yourself. And if you want to do a port day, you do, and if you don't, you just stay on the
Yeah.
ship. I just got back from Alaska. My girlfriend and I went for 10 days, and at the beginning of February of this year, Henry and I went on a cruise in the Caribbean, and we tied it into our trip to Florida. But I got the cruises through the Palazzo.
Yes. Isn't that great? The casino offers are amazing for the
Like
casinos.
that's so if you want to take it, I mean, you're still paying for your beverage pack and that, but you're not paying. You're getting about at least like a probably a 60% discount from what you
Yeah.
would pay.
Ellen and I just booked a cruise yesterday that because we play a fair amount on the Carnival Cruise Line. So
Yeah.
I'm on 8 cruises between now and next time this we got 8 cruises
Oh,
booked up.
yeah. Well, you're so
And
lucky because you're right at a port.
right there. Yeah, they're up 100 miles up the road
Yeah.
in Long Beach. So, and
Yeah.
then San Diego has, but we just booked a cruise, a 25-day Trans-Pacific. So all we have to do is we fly to Singapore,
Oh,
and it's Singapore, Japan, Guam, Philippines, Hawaii, and it ends 100 miles up the road in Long Beach. So we just take a Uber home or
wow.
whatever.
Yeah.
But the cruise, this is crazy. It's a 25-day cruise. The cruise only cost us total $529
That's ridiculous.
because it's the casino offer from the cruise line. So we're not paying for the cruise. We're just paying the taxes.
Yeah, see what we get all well those two cruises I just went on like I got a balcony
Yeah.
uh cruise. I mean they just pay like here all we get they just pay for the stateroom. You still have to pay all the port taxes
Yeah. Port
and
fees and taxes. Yeah. So, but for
but
25
yeah,
days, we only owe $525.
that's
It's insane.
that's like crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then we're going on another cruise because when I went on the Alaskan cruise, I gambled, and my
Of
other
course.
girlfriend doesn't gamble, so I was in there gambling, and so they gave me a cruise certificate for free interior room, and so we booked a 14-day. Just to Henry wants to go somewhere warm, so
Yes. That's the
we're
beauty of
going
it.
in November for 14 days,
Where are you going?
and on Princess, and that's through the Princess Casino now. It's
Okay.
not through the Palazzo. So, anyways, as long as I gamble, I still get, and I get comps to go to the Palazzo in Vegas. Like, I get free flight through my points through my credit card. So I always say, Henry, it's a free cruise, or it's a free trip to
It
Vegas.
is a free
Not,
trip. Yeah.
not,
And
not really.
You guys have earned it. You guys have earned travel.
Well,
You
that's
know,
yeah,
yeah. We told the
and
kids because we have two boys, and we told the kids because the house is, it's valued at like 5 times what we would pay for it because because the crazy real estate values in San Diego
oh,
is
it's
off the
same here.
charts. So we
Yeah,
said, you're going to keep the house. You guys will get, when we pass away, you get the house. But Ellen and I are spending all the money. We're gonna travel till we can't travel. So
yeah,
because
yeah. We're
Ellen put her,
our kids inheritance too.
yeah. By the way, for those checking on Ellen, she just had her post cancer screening on Thursday, and she is cancer free still, which is huge news for her because she went back in for a full, the whole basically they went inside her body and checked everything out, and everything is cancer free.
Good for
Nothing
her.
grew back. So on top of all of her knee surgeries and hip and neck replacement, all the other things, she's
Wow,
still cancer free. So she's having breakfast with her girlfriends this morning to celebrate. So
good for
big,
her.
yeah.
Nice.
So now we're going to get into when did you discover the Kenonation, folks?
I was well during the pandemic. Of course, you couldn't go anywhere,
Right.
and so I like for about the last 5 years, like I subscribed to all kinds of different like since I retired. I retired in
Hmm.
2018, and I have different YouTube channels that I follow. Like I was following Brian Christopher
Yeah.
Slides, Neil 777, a lot of different ones. And then I thought, I like Kino. Uh, so I started looking up. Well, I started looking up just searching Kino on YouTube. So then it would bring up Neil's like Neely 777.
Yeah.
He would play Keno at Dottie's, right? And but he doesn't do it a lot because he said like people are bored of Keno. I'm going, I'm not bored of Keno, just play Keno. So I couldn't, and then I found a few other Keno stations. And I think it was John Graham mentioned, or did you have two Johns on in the last, or three?
We've
Or
had John was on right before Doris, and he mentioned how he found the Keno. I
the
think it was
Mystic
Mystic
Gambler.
Gambler. Yes,
Yes.
mentioned it.
So then I was kind of watching him a little bit, and he goes through the theory and everything, and then I got bored of that. And then because I was watching Keno channels, all of a sudden QHS came up. Because YouTube will feed you
Yeah.
different things. So then I started watching this. This is only like in the like 2 years ago, and I watched all their videos on because they didn't play as much Keno. They were playing like
Right. They were
lightning
quick honey slots. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, quick handy slots. So I was watching all of their, and I got caught up, and then all of a sudden they were going to Vegas, and that was your first get together. I'm not sure. I think it was. Did you do it live, or did
We
Brian
did
have a
because
live
we
thing?
didn't because we met at the Win, and Brian was, like I
Yeah.
said, I think he was about 400 subscribers. I was about 220 or so, and I said, hey, I saw you do one video at Keno at the Win. We're going to the Win in 2 months. Would you like to meet up and have a Keno session? He's like,
Yes.
yeah, I don't really know you, but sure, let's meet. And look what it's turned into. Now it's
I
turned in from
know.
that discussion to now we're scheduling Kenonation 6, and
I
we have
know.
120. They're reserving 125 spots for viewers to come in. We have 3 properties who asked us to come
I
now
know.
instead of us asking. And so Brian, who's run, I ran the first 4. John ran last year's.
Yes.
Brian's taking the reins for this one, and we're asking for it. We want a party, we want free food, we want free drinks, we want a private
Yeah.
room,
All the good
and
things.
they're all lining up. Okay, how much can we give these guys? Because
Yeah.
what casino wouldn't want 125 gamblers, not for one day, but for
Yeah.
3 days of action? Every casino should be
That's
begging.
well. That was the video where
We
you were
met.
you were sitting beside Brian, and you were
Yes.
playing Bell, and you won $12,000. You weren't even lucky in
Oh
the
my
first
God,
round,
that was during
but
his live. Yes, on our anniversary.
and you're 12,000. You won twelve
Yeah,
thousand. So then,
I
anyways, then I started watching you, started watching Brian and
appreciate you.
Michelle, started watching Wayno and JoJo, BDK, Brian and sorry, Kino couple,
Yeah,
and so the main ones, watch, and then I just subscribed to Kino Kid. Doris has got a few out there too, which
yeah,
is great. So,
yeah.
anyways, I have like 60 some channels that I follow, and I said I got to get rid of some of these because every morning I get up and I go inside because I smoke. I have a coffee.
Oh.
I said I'm going out to see what my friends are doing.
Drink, smokes,
Yeah,
and gambles.
yeah. That's what Henry said. I drink, smoke, and gamble. So I'm the bad one in the family. But
Is it? Can we? Is Henry camera shy? Can we meet
Henry,
Henry?
yeah,
Come on, sir.
he's my rock. Great
Come here, buddy.
guy. He's the nicest man.
There he is.
Hello.
Hey, Henry, how you doing, man?
Good, good.
Yeah.
I'm not
She
the
was
slot player. I'm the roulette and poker player.
okay.
Better off.
I play
Yeah,
I play a ton of poker myself.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm in
I like.
I'm in two leagues, and I play a lot of live when I get a chance.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, we don't have the well, we have two casinos here. One's on, anyways. Goodbye, Henry.
Yep.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're taking away my time.
This is my show, Henry. This is my
Yeah,
show.
yeah. No, I'm just teasing him.
That's
No, every time
hilarious.
I go to the casino, he goes, "Bring back $1,000." And I'll be home. Like I just want to go and play for 3 hours, and I'll come home and I'll go, "The loser's home." But anyways,
Yeah.
then he'll say, "You should start your own slot channel." Yeah, and I said, "Yes, I'm going to call it the Undisciplined Gambler if I ever
Oh my
do, because
gosh. I
I
think we all
keep
fit
doing
that.
the same friggin' thing all the time, and I gotta come up. Like I don't play Keno all the time. I'll go in
Yeah.
and I'll kind of walk around, but then I'll get distracted and I'll go play late games, and then eventually I'll get to see here. There's only two casinos. There's one on the Quebec side, which the government owns, the Quebec government, and they're all unionized over there. They just do
Oh.
whatever they want, you know. And they don't have the machines there like they do in Vegas at all. They've got one Keno uh, Keno machine, like Keno game on a couple of cabinets, and
Yeah.
it's the lightning bolt. It's power key, not
Oh, Power Keno.
sorry,
Yeah.
it's not. It's the one where it multiplies it by 4 times. But
Yeah.
and like I've been going there for like it's been open 25 years, so I've been going there for 25 years.
Wow.
Because it's the government, you don't win anything. They hardly give you any comps or any
Oh
free
man.
play. But I won, and I always play the 31 to 40. And I was there. This is probably like 10 years ago. So that's how
See
long.
that they
That's
just
how
asked,
long.
what are your favorite numbers? The straight line 31 to 40?
31 to 40, but it's going to change because I'm not winning anything on it. But I like. Well, that's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing, you get
Yeah.
the same result.
Oh my God. Tell me about the bell. The bell's been kicking my butt this year.
But I did. I was there and I had $100 left, and I was pissed off. And I thought I'm going in that, in the high limit room, and I'm putting in the $100. And I think I was playing either $1 or $2, and I think I got 8 out of 10 times four,
Oh
and
God, big one.
or maybe it was $1. But anyways, I won close to $5,000, and that's my biggest jackpot. Other than getting like some jack or majors on lightning link games, and you
Yeah.
win three
Yeah,
hundred
yeah.
bucks
The balls
on
and stuff like
Keno
that.
to keep you going. I just like to play. Like I'm not going in there. My husband goes to make money, and he's pissed off. He's like Brian. He gets really pissed off
You get
if
the wine and
if,
the wine and
if he
win.
if he does
More
if he
wine than
doesn't
win.
win. But he'll leave if he's
Hi,
winning.
Lizzie.
You know.
Yeah. What's your favorite game?
My favorite game. It probably is Cleopatra Keno. Um, Caveman. I've been playing a bit. See, there's another casino here. It was the Rita Carlton racetrack, and then
Hmm.
Hard Rock bought it, and they were like 5 years ago, and they bought it from the Ontario Lottery Corporation because everything is uh, government's involved in everything
Yeah.
there.
So they get their
So,
cut.
um, so nothing's so now, but the Hard Rock out of the States, or the Hard Rocks all over the world, I guess, but they bought it, and they were going to turn it into there is a casino in there, and that's where I go now. It's the same distance either way because they give better comps. They
Yeah.
give they give free play. You can play longer, but they're finally got the go ahead because they are redoing the whole place. They're putting 300 million into it, and they're building a big hotel there, expanding the casino.
300 million.
putting in more restaurants, high
Oh my
limit room.
gosh.
Oh, they're going to expand it all. So it's going to be
And
done. They've already
yeah,
got the shovels in the ground and the crane and
and
everything.
that's
So
one on the
it,
backs of all the players. 300 million is a
so
lot of investment. Yeah.
yeah. So that'll be done in the spring of 2025, which I can't wait because I
Yeah.
hate the whole casino now because you don't win anything and they don't care.
Yeah.
There's no customer service there. They're just there to take your money.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but see, there's no competition here. Like there's two
Oh, okay.
casinos,
Yeah.
you know.
Here we got casinos every 10 minutes in every
Oh
direction. Though.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Want to
why
reach
I
out,
got an
Lizzie channel. She's in from the Philippines, guys. Lizzie's one of our Filipino followers. Thank you so much. Hi, Lizzie.
Hey,
Good more chats. Um, and so they had the biggest jackpot. So I was asked one more question before we get any more questions in the chat. I missed. I'm so enthralled with your story, Susan. I haven't been watching the chat much at all. So, any questions there? I said largest jackpot. If that was money, big. Your normal bet size $1 to $2. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. Like I'm not like I mean I take I don't have a big I mean I could have a big bankroll if I wanted to. But no, because I go like just once a week. I go every
Yeah.
Friday. I'll take like, $200 with me, leave my bank cards at home because you can get in big trouble if you take
Oh
your
my
bank
gosh. Yeah.
card.
I think we've all been there.
And,
And yeah. Because right
I
now
just
I'm off it right now because I've been getting just drilled. So when we got back from our trip, that was over a month ago. I haven't played Keno in a month, just because it was so bad. And you probably see on the
yeah.
cruise ship, Kenos,
Oh,
it's usually a one option, and it's the reduced pay one card Keno,
yeah.
or
I
some.
was playing a couple of different games, on the ship.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Triple
Well,
yeah,
that's why I got an offer for a cruise, put it that way. Because I
exactly,
I lost too
exactly.
much.
There's Brian and Michelle saying they're loving your hair.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, when I retired at 60, I said, "That's it. I am not dyeing my hair anymore," and I just let it go straight.
That's right.
So,
Um, Thank you so much. We're almost an hour, and you were you didn't look
geez,
nervous at all. You were amazing today. Your family story is
thank-
off the charts amazing.
I
I
wanted to. I wanted. Sorry, I just wanted to add. These are just like little, fun facts about our family. Just our on my mom's side, we've had family picnics every year for 121 years, and we were in they featured us in the Chatelaine magazine, which was a national magazine, when we had our 100th anniversary. But this
wow.
goes back 121 years. And then on my dad's side, we've been meeting every year since the 1950s. So it's neat.
You guys are. It's probably easy to see. You guys, your family's national treasures.
Well,
I would say from just listening to your story for the last 45, 50 minutes.
good old Canadians for our farmers,
Well,
yeah.
you're an amazing representative of your country. I'm like I said, I'm honored to have met you today, and I think
Thank
all of our
you.
users can say the
It
same
was
thing.
nice
We,
talking to you.
yeah,
I
a
hope
couple.
we get to Kenonation 6, but it's the
Yes,
time.
so
We may
there are
just be lucky.
tentative dates. Brian and I are talking. We're actually going to go. We're meeting at the end of September and October. We're going to go out there and we're going to walk a property or two and they're going to show us what they offer, and then Brian's going to come out with the official dates. I was asked not to say the dates because we don't want people booking time yet in
No,
case they're not confirmed. It would be
yeah.
silly of us, but it is coming. It'll be before mid-April. It'll be in between the March and April timeframe because
Oh,
Ellen and I are traveling April 8th, so it's before
yeah.
April 8th. Couple quick
Okay.
shout outs for coming up. Thank you so much today, Susan.
Thank
We're doing a Thursday evening session right after Brian's premiere because EJV is this Thursday, 6:30 p.m. West Coast time, followed by Jeremy Kelly. He lives in Las Vegas, gets a Vegas perspective. Ann Stevens from Circa Casino is on August 20th. Elaine McGrew is on the 27th. Diana Boyd, who's in here September 3rd. September 10th is Jackie of Slot Gypsy Travel. We all love Jackie. And then on September 10th, the much anticipated comedy stylings of Rainmaker, Michelle's brother. September 24th, Chris and Lou from Florida. October 1st is the jeweler to the celebrities, Billy and Marissa. They live in Beverly Hills. They kind of lurk our channels, but I met them on a cruise ship, knew of me, and said, I asked them, you want to be on the show? Probably got a lot of celebrity jewelry stories to tell. Bradley Jones is going to do it. Keno Warriors have agreed to do it. And I have the CEO of the Oklahoma City Tourism Council going to come and talk about some stuff they got going on in Oklahoma. Her name's Jennifer Nakayama. I'm a very good friend of hers from way back in Hawaii, and some other things. She's now running the entire Oklahoma City tourism board, and they're building a brand new theme park there in Oklahoma. And we're going to talk about some Oklahoma stuff and maybe casino stuff. She watches the channel, but she's mostly
That's
the lurker.
interesting.
A lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So we're booked out through November. If you trust me, if you guys want to join the channel and join the chat and had a fun like Susan VP did today, please email me at james@jscashout.com and join the fun. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 15 more bookings, and then we're going to go on into 2022. Thank you, Susan. You were so amazing
Thanks.
today.
Thank you, James. I really appreciate it. Enjoy watching your channel and all the Keno channels out there. Good luck, everybody. Hope you win a jackpot.
Honored to meet you today. Okay. Have a great rest of your
Okay.
weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell your family we said hey. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, James.
Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye,
watching.
everybody.